got Sadie and Daisy with me. I'm holding Sadie, and Daisy's right here hanging out too. This is pretty typical to have them both pretty close to me. In fact, sometimes when I go in my bedroom, they're not allowed in my bedroom because Pastor Ken doesn't want them in our bedroom. So when I go in my bedroom, they will lay right outside my door and wait for me because they love to hang out with me. And you know what? I want to hang out with you guys today in your home. And I want to read you a book that I used to read to Ben and Josh, and sometimes to Caleb and Nate, but mostly to Ben and Josh. And it was a book they loved, and it's a book I loved. And it is called The Monster at the End of This Book. And it's kind of funny. We used to laugh about it when I read it to them. And then here, this is Grover, by the way. And Grover's saying, hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. So let's read this book together, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. So this is the opening page, and I don't know if you can see that, but Grover says, this is a very dull page. What's on the next page? Does that seem kind of like a dull page to you? He thinks it's a dull page. Look how it starts. It says, what did that say? What did that say? On the very first page, what did that say? Did that say that there will be a monster at the end of this book? It did. Oh, I am so scared of monsters. He's really scared of monsters. I understand why. Shh. Listen, I have an idea. If you do not turn any pages, we will never get to the end of the book. And that is good because there is a monster at the end of this book. So please don't turn the page. It looks like he's very afraid, doesn't it? He's very afraid. You turned the page! Oh, he's so upset that we turned the page. Oh. Maybe you do not understand. You see, turning the pages will bring us to the end of the book, and there is a monster at the end of this book. But this will stop you from turning the pages. Look, he's putting ropes together. I'm going to tie the pages together so that you cannot. You turned another page. Ah, look, he's so upset. You do not know what you're doing to me. Now stop turning pages. There. Look what he's doing. He's building something. There. I, Grover, am nailing this page to the next one so that you will not be able to turn it, and we will not get any closer to the monster at the end of this book. He's doing everything he can do to stop us from reading it, huh? Look, it says, I don't know if you can read this, but it says bam. It says bing, clunk, bonk, wood, and he's got all kinds of tools there. Can you see the tools that he has there? He doesn't want us to turn the page, but we're turning the page anyway. Ah! All right. Do you know that every time you turn another page, you not only get us closer to the monster at the end of this book, but you make a terrible mess. Because we're destroying what he's trying to do to stop us from turning the page. This will stop you from turning pages. Look what he's doing. He's building a brick wall. This will stop you from turning the pages. A heavy, thick, solid brick wall. I would just like to see you try to turn the page. Just try to. Do you think we're going to be able to turn the page? Yeah. What's going to happen to that brick wall? Oh, it's demolished. It's all over everywhere. And he said, do you know that you are very strong? Because we can keep turning the pages even though he's building all of these things to try to stop us. The next page is the end of this book, and there is a monster at the end of this book. And I am so scared. Please do not turn the page. Please, please, please. I hear Pastor Ken's voice next door. Do you hear him? He's talking on the phone. He's kind of loud. Well, look at that. Look at that. At the end of this book. And the only one here is me. I am lovable, furry old Grover. And the monster at the end of this book is me. And you were so scared. That's what Grover's saying. You were so scared. Who was the one that was really scared? Grover was the one that was really scared. And it says, the end, I told you there was nothing to be afraid of. And he says this, let me get this really close so you can see it. Look at his face. And this is what he says. He says, oh, I am so embarrassed. Did you like the story? The monster at the end of this book turned out to be Grover, and Grover was so afraid of the monster, and yet the monster was him. And he did all kinds of things to try to stop us from reading the book, but it didn't work. You know, we're living in a time right now where a lot of people are afraid. Maybe you sometimes feel afraid, or you can tell that your parents maybe are a little afraid. And we all get afraid sometimes. That's normal. But I think the thing that we have to remember is that we serve a God who's in charge, and he's in control. And Philippians 4:6 tells us not to worry about anything, but instead pray about everything. Can you say that with me? Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. And so kind of like Grover, he was all worried, but he didn't need to be. And the reason that we don't need to be worried is because we can trust God. And no matter how old you are, if you're 2, or if you're 8, or if you're 10, or if you're almost 51 like me, or if you're in your 80s like my mom, no matter how old you are, sometimes we get afraid. But the thing that we do to stop being afraid is we say, I'm going to trust God. And no matter how old you are, you can say, I'm going to trust God. And you can quote that verse out of Philippians 4:6. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Bye, everybody.